Hey all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I want to welcome you. This is the Dr. Shabai Show, and on this show we talk about feminism. We talk about how feminism has destroyed society as well as relationships and marriages. We also talk about hot topics that are kind of related to feminism and dating and relationships as well. But today I want to talk about Eboni Williams. She is a former housewife and she has been all over social media. I want to play the video that is making its round, and then I want to talk about it. And there's several things that I feel like that's being missed. So before we get started, please like this video. And I also want to thank everyone who's already subscribed to my channel, and for everyone that has watched my videos and left a comment. I truly appreciate it. But if you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel. I really would like for it to grow. Thank you, and let's get started.
Today's sidebar starts with a note of gratitude. I want to thank the culture for making my interview with Dr. Iyanla Vanzant one of the most popular and actively engaged content offerings the Grio has produced. So before I tell you my thoughts, let's replay the clip that had some of y'all deep into your feelings. I do want you to speak, Iyanla, to how women need to, position ourselves so that we can be in our divinity, so we can have our crowns right, how we can create and not build, when some of us, quite frankly, feel that the men that are available to us, and I'm talking about across the color spectrum, across the age spectrum, trust me, I've done them all, they are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics we just talked about. They're not earning the incomes. They're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in the leadership.
Okay, so the first thing I just want to address is that her statistics are a little off. Black men, on average, make more than black women on average. Now, of course, we have people who make a lot more, like herself, because I think she makes, her net worth is over $1 million. But the average black man definitely makes more than a black woman. The average black man also has less debt. Now, on the other side of that, so yes, black men may not have as much education as black women, but the problem is black women may have a lot of education, but they also have a lot of student loan debt. And so that also makes the black man who does not have a student loan debt, their income is higher. Okay, so let's continue. Now, this is the part that everyone is upset about.
Would you date a bus driver? Would you date
if he owns the bus? If he owns it. If he owns the bus.
See, that's a problem.
Okay, so this is where I feel like, this is where the problem is. When she asked her this question, she had to pause. And the look on her face was like, how dare you ask me that question? Don't you know who I am? Don't you know that I am worth this amount of money? Of course I wouldn't date a bus driver. The attitude, the look on her face, and even right here on this photo, you see her lips are poked out. This is not feminine at all. Like, one of the things my grandmother used to tell me is that a woman's femininity can get her anything. And you can say things in a way that people can understand and get it, But the way that she expressed how she would not date a bus driver was almost on the level of being nasty. The way that she looks down, on being a bus driver. I don't know her personally, but I'm just telling you from the way it came across on the screen. It may not be true, that may not have been her intention, but that's what it looks like. And that's why so many people were offended by it. Because she has every right to say who she will date and who she will not. That's her given right, and her preference. Everybody has their preference. And like I said, she's in a different economic bracket than most people.
That's a problem.
Now let's address the response to the interview and what some of y'all are calling a backlash. So let me be clear. First, I am a professional disruptor. So backlash is my business. And I will always take it on the chin for the sake of advancing the work, conversation, or movement. So know that I am completely unfazed by the onslaught of nasty comments, wishing me a sad, lonely, bitter existence until my untimely death. Now, that is some weird energy to be wishing onto a black woman, especially one who has dedicated her life to the liberation of black folk. But, whatever, I guess, go off. See, I wanted to talk about how do we close the gap between black women who do show up in a so-called masculine posture, those of us that are providing and building and protecting due to circumstances that we might feel make us feel that if we don't do it for ourselves, we will have to go without the resources and protections we need to feel safe in this world. But Dr. Ayanla went in a different direction. She asked me a personal question. And y'all know I have been extremely transparent about the fact that my life choices and my chosen lifestyle are far outside of the norm. So when I said that I would date the bus owner, a lot of y'all heard something different. Some of you heard the following. Bus drivers are whack. Bus drivers are broke. Oh, and I'm too good for a bus driver. The only thing is, y'all made that part up. See, I said what I said. But then some of y'all started talking about salaries and hourly wages, pensions and benefits. And that's wild because I was never talking about money at all. I was talking about black ownership, but some of y'all made it about money. I'm talking about ownership, black enterprise and entrepreneurship because really I am talking about black liberation. And if you read my book, you'll understand why. So I'm standing 10 toes down on that position, and I don't really care if you're hurt or offended by it. And since some of y'all are already big mad, let me go ahead and make you incensed. So out of the 50,000 plus comments posted on social, I only saw a handful that even considered the possibility of a bus owner being a more aspirational position and recognizing that I am actually speaking and pouring into the ascension of black men when I said what I said. But see, no, some of y'all were too busy naming and shaming me personally and black women in general as undesirable, gold diggers, and much worse. Now, I suspect that some of y'all are the same men that were bringing home C's and D's on your report cards, only to then be coddled by parents that said, well, that's okay, as long as you're doing your best. Well, listen, I love and believe in the excellence of black men. So no, my dear, C's and D's or any other form of mediocrity is not okay. No, I will not create a soft place for you or anybody that I love to fall comfortably into the bigotry of low expectations. So I'm going to say one more time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with driving a bus. My mother Gloria drove one for years. But could it be that black America has been sold a narrative of average, regular, and typical being good enough for us? Well, see, that's called white supremacy. And in this case, it takes the form of conditioning black Americans to happily accept being a permanent American underclass. But see, because I know the truth about black folk in America, no, average is not and will never be good enough for me. And the gag is, I don't think it's good enough for you either.
Okay, so let's stop the cap. Right now, she is trying to make it about racism, mediocrity, C or D student. That's not what this is about. What it is, number one, is the way that she responded when asked if you would date a bus driver. She said that she would not unless she was the owner. Ayana called her out on that. And so did other people. Ebony never even asked the question, well, does he have aspirations to do anything else? Or what is his story? She just shut it down, not even saying, yeah, I'll go out with him and just talk and figure out where he is, if we can be collaborative in a relationship. Those are things she never said. So now she's trying to turn it into something else. And let's be clear, when a woman is looking for a mate, especially the younger women, when you're looking for a mate, you want someone that can either match the lifestyle that your father provided or make it better, not beneath. your life, the lifestyle that you're used to. So that's nothing wrong with that. But it is the way that she presented it to the world, the attitude, the look on her face, that is the issue. And then one of the things that people are trying to get her to understand is that number one, when a woman is older and successful, you don't get extra credit for that. That's wonderful. It's great, but it doesn't make you more marketable in the dating. And again, as a woman gets older and she gets more money, her dating options change. They get a little bit smaller because men, when they work really hard, they typically don't get to that level of success until they're in their 40s, maybe even 50. And a lot of times they look for someone who's a little younger because they know that they're bringing them a different lifestyle and they are a little more appreciative. So, from what my experience has been and what I have seen, when the man goes out and makes himself very successful and works really hard, and he finds a woman that comes in and adjusts to his lifestyle. Like she does whatever it is to fit into his world. When she comes in and says, okay, I'm going to make adjustments to this. You don't like this? I'm going to do this. Because she wants to be a part of his world. But someone who's a little more successful and older typically they're not going to do that because they're thinking that, oh yeah, we're on the same level, or I might even be higher than you. I'm not going to make accommodations. I'm not. That's the problem. And then also being feminine and submissive, people don't equate that sometimes with an older woman because she's so set in her ways. Now, I don't believe that, but that's what a lot of men believe. And it's also important that we know Ebony has a right to her preference. That is not the issue because men have a right to their preference. If they like someone that's a size 0, or if they like someone who is short or under 5 feet, that's their preference. But I think some of the rude comments were trying to say that, what if you don't find what you're looking for? Are you willing to be alone and then be by yourself when you get in old age? Basically, that's the question that a lot of women who are at a certain age and a certain financial status constantly ask themselves. Are you willing to compromise? Or are you willing to just not be with anyone and just be by yourself? That's the question. So that is my video for today. I would love to hear what you think. If you don't mind, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it so you can help me to grow. Again, thank you for everyone that has watched my videos so far. You are so totally appreciated. Until next time, this is Dr. Shabai. I will see you later. Bye.